Creative Brain Candy by creators for creators.
I don't have a lot of time.
I wasn't sure I'd see you again.
After we spoke, I realized my life wasn't a life. At some point, I think I gave up searching for something real.
Wait.
Something happened.
I looked for you at the coffee shop. I began to wonder if I imagined you. And then last night I had a dream. In the dream you were surrounded by police, and then they started chasing us.
Us?
You were on my bike with me.
How did it end?
Not good.
I've had dreams that weren't just dreams.
You mean a dream that came true?
Hi, everyone, and welcome to Smoking and Drinking in Space. This is a sci-fi podcast from a couple guys who think they know sci-fi. And this week, we return to the Matrix and learn what happened to Neo and Trinity after their sacrifices to save the human city of Zion and the peace brokered between the machines and humans, starring nostalgia, self-deprecating references, poking fun at fan theories, and Doogie Howser. It's 2021's The Matrix Resurrections. But first, he's the game developer who is such a super fan of bullet time he thinks it's one word. It's Rob. How are you doing, Rob?
I'm doing pretty good. Just sitting here enjoying my jelly cream pie.
Oh my God. I knew it was a big mistake to get those to you, but I
You
figured
did it to yourself.
maybe if I could get you into a diabetic coma, I wouldn't have to record with you for a while.
No, you just did it to yourself.
I know.
The box hasn't left the side of my desk.
Oh God.
Yep.
How many boxes were in there again? I don't remember.
One less than what you sent because I gave the chocolate chip cream pies to my kid.
Why?
I'm not a big chocolate chip fan. He is.
Oh my God.
I was trying to curry favor, but that's okay. I've still got 1, 2, 3, 4. I've still got 5 other boxes. So,
Oh geez. And how many sweet treats are in each box?
Well, the jelly cream pies had 8. We record once a week, so
Oh my God, that's like a
gonna be there
year
for a
just
while.
right there.
yeah.
God.
They're starting to grow on me. These jelly ones, it's like a moon pie
Uh-huh.
but with jelly.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. What news you got for us this week?
I'm going to be going to the hospital soon.
Yeah, I bet.
Other than that, not much. No. Let's see. Let's start with a telescope. Finally, finally, the James Webb Space Telescope lifted off. What day was that?
It was
That
a Christmas
Friday.
miracle.
Was it Friday? I think, wasn't it?
Was it Friday? I thought it was Saturday.
Or was it on Saturday?
I think it was
It was
Saturday.
on Saturday. Yeah,
It was a
on
Christmas miracle.
early Saturday morning.
Yep.
Which for us was like Friday night because it happened overseas. Anyway, so yeah, the James Webb Space Telescope finally lifted off. It is set to replace the Hubble telescope. I'm not sure when that is supposed to be happening. I do know that it's going to take it about 6 months or so to get into its respective orbit of wherever it's going to be going.
Yeah. Then they'll have to run diagnostics on it.
Yeah, right. So it's supposed to be put on a path. It's on its way out to a 1.5 million kilometer orbit.
Holy shit, that's way the fuck out there.
Yeah, apparently they are throwing it way out there to get more be able to capture more light and not get the background
Right.
noise of Earth.
Right.
It's got a. So this thing is. It's supposed to last. This is really weird. So there's this little infographic on this news article. The
Pictures.
lifetime.
Of course, there's pictures.
Yeah. The lifetime of this thing is supposed to be 10 years, compared to the Hubble, which has been around for 31 years.
Well, but that wasn't the stated lifetime of the Hubble.
That's true. That's true. The mirror is 3 times the size, almost 3 times the size as the Hubble. It's 6.5 meters in diameter or diameter, side to side. The Hubble's was only 2.4, so they're hoping that helps. It weighs half as much as the Hubble. So it's only 6,000 kilograms. The Hubble was 12,000. Microcomputers at work, it looks like. Now, and this was kind of interesting. The Hubble telescope operating temperature 20 degrees Celsius. Not too bad. Not too bad. James Webb telescope
Going to be much cooler.
negative 230 degrees Celsius.
Yeah, it's much colder where it's at.
Yeah, so they're hoping with this new telescope, they'll be able to see light from some of the first stars from the Big Bang time frame, and hopefully be able to study how we became people.
How we became people. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, I think so. If I'm not mistaken, some of the delays, I mean, they had to get this just right, because since it's such a wide orbit, or the orbit is so far out there, it's not like the Hubble where they could just go up and, I mean, there were several
and they don't have
shuttle
shuttles
missions
anymore either.
Yeah, there were several space shuttle missions that went up and did repairs and updates to the Hubble. With the James Webb out there so far, it's going
to be a while.
Yeah, it would have to be kind of like some sort of robotic mission. I don't know that they would be able to do a manned mission out there to make repairs or upgrades.
Well, hold on, I just had a thought. Okay. So in the grand scheme of things, the moon is 238 miles, 238,000 miles.
Meters.
No, miles, which is doing a conversion.
Or kilometers, sorry.
Yeah, doing a conversion here. Miles to kilometers. All right, so that ends up being 385,000
kilometers. Yeah, 239,000 miles.
Yeah, so it's orbiting way past the moon.
Right.
Like more, like, I mean, you couldn't even say, hey, we'll jump on that space station that they're building around the moon eventually.
No.
As a way station, and then we'll just make another trip to the moon, which is
you'd have to make another 3 trips to the moon.
Right. So it's going to be way the F out there. So, wow. Wait. Distance. Let's see. Distance to Mars. Okay, is 220 million miles. So yeah, way too far. I was thinking, it's somewhere in between us and Mars.
Well, it is somewhere in between us and Mars. It's just
but you couldn't even use Mars as a way station, right? Yeah, way out there. So yeah, that's it'll be interesting to see what kind of first images we get off of it. But it's got about 6 months to get to where it needs to get to. So it won't be, I'm guessing 6 months, and then they'll be doing testing, and maybe we'll be seeing some images by the end of next year, that'll get released. I don't know if this telescope has the same not restrictions, but the same governing rules that NASA has, and that everything that they supposedly take pictures of has to be public domain at some point in time, so many hours after it happens, or so many days, or whatever it is. So who knows? Maybe we won't see something for a little while. Hell, maybe they'll turn it on and an alien will wave at them. Who knows?
Oh wow! And this is even so. It's not just 1.5 kilometers beyond Earth's orbit. It's 1.5 kilometers beyond Earth's orbit around the sun, around the L2 Lagrange point in a halo orbit.
Okay. What does that mean? Up above our orbit?
No. So, how do I explain the Lagrange point? So the Lagrange point, there are 3 Lagrange points. There's 3 main Lagrange points. God, Lagrange points are so hard to describe. It's easier to just see them.
There are positions in space where objects are sent there tend to stay fixed.
Right. And so
Yep.
it's an L2, so it's on the opposite side of the sun from Earth. And so basically it's going to sit there and do a circle around that, an orbit around that Lagrange point, kind of. So if you think of the sun and the Earth, if you're looking from the top down, you see the sun over on the left-hand side and the Earth on the right-hand side. The L2 Lagrange point is going to be on the right-hand side of the Earth. And so the satellite is going to be orbiting around that Lagrange point. It's not going to be orbiting around the Earth. It's going to be orbiting around that point on the other side of the sun.
Gotcha. Yeah. So basically, from our perspective, it will always be in the same spot.
Yeah, and it'll always be opposite of the sun to the Earth.
Of the sun.
Yeah.
Right. So the Earth will be blocking a significant portion of light coming from that.
Right.
I found a little Wikipedia holder of all knowledge has a nice little picture, orbiting picture actually of showing the orbit of the Lagrange point. So that's interesting.
Right.
So yeah. So hopefully we'll see something one of these days.
Yeah.
And again, maybe an alien will wave. Which brings me to our next article. NASA recorded some sounds coming from Ganymede, one of Jupiter's moons. And
What do you mean it recorded sounds?
Oh, it recorded. There's a 50-second audio clip that NASA released from sounds coming from Ganymede. Basically, some aliens were practicing in their mom's garage, and we picked up their jam session.
I don't believe you.
Oh, well,
How did they record sound in space?
Look, I'm not saying it was aliens, but it was aliens. No. It is audio that comes from data gathered using Juno's Wave instrument, which is an instrument designed to measure radio and plasma waves detected in Jupiter's magnetosphere.
Okay, so they converted waves that were formed by they recorded plasma waves. So
so they recorded
and then they converted
emissions
that to a sound wave.
Right. They recorded the emissions coming off of Ganymede and then shifted it to an audio spectrum to make the record and to make the recording and kind of be able to, I guess, see what sounds like. What
does it sound like? Death Clock?
No, it sounds like Starman.
Oh, Starman. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, so we've got aliens on Ganymede doing a recording session. We got a jam session. We got the telescope going out to look for the aliens. We've got the cube. We've got the aliens' house on the far side of the moon. We've got Moonfall coming out in February, which I just saw a new trailer for, which had me even more excited because I went and saw Spider-Man today. So, it's all aliens.
Yay.
And in the mix of all this, in that mix are our friendly little microscopic organisms, tardigrades.
Oh my God. What are tardigrades fucking now?
Oh man, they are fucking with the quantum realm. scientists are making the tardigrades fuck with the quantum realm. They just got one of them little suckers to get quantum entangled.
What?
Yeah,
Look,
yeah.
Tardigrades are small, but they're not that small.
A tardigrade has been quantum entangled with a superconducting qubit. And surprisingly enough, it's still alive. So basically, we have figured out quantum entanglement with tardigrades. Our next step, and James will love this, our next step is spore drive a la Discovery. So there you have it. We've got aliens that we need to go see with our newfound spore drive technology. The world, the universe is our oyster.
You know, one of these days, the tardigrades are going to get sick of us fucking with them, and they're going to revolt, and we're all going to fucking die.
Yeah, the tardigrade master race is going to come after us.
Yes.
Yeah. You know. Well, so in Discovery, there was this like giant ass tardigrade, right? So I'm just waiting for us to find one of those things, and then it goes all like, what was that? Starro. From Starro the Conqueror.
Squad.
Yeah. It's going to go all Starro the Conqueror on us. And we're all going to be its meat puppets.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. So that's what I got.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's hear a little ditty from one of the other podcasts on Creative Brain Candy, shall we?
Okay.
Hey everyone, I'm John.
I'm Andrew.
And I'm Kevin. And we are the Video Game Lounge Podcast. What are you guys doing? You're supposed to do it together, Kevin.
Tyler 6, dude.
Alright, yes, this is the Video Game Lounge Podcast.
Podcast not here for notes and news, but to talk games and drink brews. And join us every other Monday.
Where we talk about what you're drinking, what you're playing, and most importantly, each episode we discuss games of past, present, and the involvement it may or may not have influenced us.
Oh, that was quick.
That's what she said.
Got him.
All right. Who's ready for a pod crawl?
That was a great ditty.
It was a great ditty. I agree.
Yep. Let's, I guess let's do a pod. Wait. Before we get there, how was your Christmas?
My Christmas was good.
Yeah. Did you see family?
Had the family together. So
yeah, had all the boys.
Yep, both boys together this year. So we didn't get to do that last year, but we did get to do that this year. So yeah,
well, it was good. That's good. Good.
I'd ask you about your Christmas, but I don't care.
But you don't care. Well, and I'm going to go ahead and tell you about mine. It was great. It was awesome. Had a good time, and that's about it.
Yeah. All right. Let's do a pod crawl.
Okay.
We can call it, I don't know, say a pod crawl? The pod crawl! Pod crawl! Pod crawl! Pod crawl! Excellent! Insert it deep! Pod crawl! Kind of like a space suppository full of information.
Bugs is a snoop who's digging around looking for relics of the past. Currently, she's looking for store brand Trinity, who is replaying the events of the first movie, and not very well. She does the run around the wall trick, and the leaping crane kick trick, but her run away from the agent's trick falls short as she gets the shit kicked out of her by 3 agents, one with a somewhat familiar face. Somehow, Not Morpheus has traded in his trench coat for a suit coat, and is now an agent, and one that is beating hell out of Trinity. When Bugs interrupts the festivities, the agents focus their game of tag on her, and she ducks into a key shop. Not Morpheus comes out of the woodwork, and pulls her into the backdoor hall, and back into Neo's apartment. He's not sure why he's an agent, and Bugs decides she wants to bring him back to the really real world. Meanwhile, Thomas Anderson is a world-famous game designer, who is working on a new game called Binary. He's pining for the past though as he wanders through his old game, The Matrix. His partner, Smith, wants a word with him about their next game. He's concerned that Tom is starting to have another psychotic break, where he thinks he's part of a resistance movement trying to free people from a simulated reality. Crazy shit, really. Tom assures him the happy drugs are working, and his therapist Doogie is helping him keep a level head. It's when Not Morpheus comes to pull the fire alarm and meet Tom in the men's room that things turn sideways. Tom is hesitant to swallow the red pill again, and after a bunch of gunfire, finds himself back in his therapist's office where Doogie asks him if he remembers how he got there. Tom says he's starting to have another break and Doogie assures him he's fine. Later, Tom gets wasted and begins to wonder if he can fly. Bugs shows up and says he probably can't at this point, but she can show him some stuff that might ease his mind, and she pulls him through a series of doors, wrecks a Japanese commuter train, and they end up in an abandoned theater. Not Morpheus puts on a show with scenes of the past, telling Tommy Boy that he's been gaslighted, and he really is back in the Matrix. All he has to do is swallow the red pill, and everything will be great again. Tom bites and finds himself back in his goo bath, but this time in a private suite, and across the aisle is none other than Trinity. A machine grabs him up and taxis him out to a ship where he's in bad shape. The cure for his sickness is apparently to fight Not Morpheus. They meet in a Placid Lake dojo where Not Morpheus has his ass handed to him after Neo gets angry because he was slapped around a bit. Back in the saddle, Neo is brought to the new human city Io and gets to see a familiar old face, literally, Niobe. Niobe tells him that they are a peace-loving commune now, growing actual fruits and vegetables, working with machines that have defected, and she doesn't want Neo coming in and fucking that up. However, a call from Sati, the little girl from the third movie, turns that on its head when she says that Neo's therapist was actually the ringleader of the current Matrix, and it was he who had Neo and Trinity resurrected and put back into the goo to keep the Matrix running, but they couldn't get too close because he didn't want their Wonder Twin powers to activate. So they have to go in and rescue Trinity heist style, but only if she wants rescuing, because she has a life and a family now in the Matrix. With the crew assembled, they enter the Matrix and Machine City for their heist. Neo is on the inside meeting his therapist, who has the power of slow-mo, and also can turn all the people around into digital zombies to swarm like crabs on Rob's junk. They meet Trinity, who goes by Tiffany now, at the local coffee shop, and Neo proposes she leave her comfortable life tricking out motorcycles and wiping her children's noses for a life of shitty sweaters and dystopian conflict. She says, nah, and starts to walk out as Neo is dogpiled on by a bunch of cops. But at the door, her husband shows his inner douchebag, and she decides that anything is better than spending any more time with that guy, so she runs to Neo, and when they touch, a small nuclear explosion clears the room. The swarm activates, and they run away along with everyone else from the really real world that came in with them. They use their Wonder Twin powers a few more times until they strand themselves on the roof of a really tall building, and with nowhere else to go, they take a leap into oblivion hoping that Neo can remember how to fly. It's Trinity, however, that believes she can fly, and she and Neo fly away, and out of the Matrix. Shortly after, they head back in, fully leveled up this time, and make a visit to Doogie, where they proceed to kick the shit out of him, fix him up, rinse and repeat. They are now the masters of the Matrix, and commit to making a rainbow sky that rains Skittles, and roll Neo and Trinity flying around like the flock of birds they showed throughout the movie. Credits.
All right, 2021's The Matrix Resurrections. It's definitely a sequel movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So before you go and poo-poo all over this thing, because from the tone of your voice, it sounds like you're going to poo-poo all over this.
I'm not going to poo-poo all over it.
I am going to say that it wasn't perfect, but I liked it. I thought it was good. In fact, I think they should have taken 2 and 3, pulled out all the boring shit, and made just 2. Maybe, you know, because let's face it, they could have taken the 2 and 3, crammed it into one movie if they would have just taken out all the bullet time that they had in those 2. Mm-hmm. Just in sheer runtime. They didn't even have to pare it down any. Just take the bullet time out, and You've already got like an hour and a half movie. You're good to go. Make that 2. This should have been number 3. I thought this was really good at kind of tying some stuff up. Yeah, there were some leaps that were taken as far as like, they had already died and yet came back alive. I
actually didn't mind how they kind of,
retcon that up.
Retcon that up. I mean, that wasn't too unbelievable.
So was that a basically they regrew?
Yeah, they basically just reanimated those 2. Yeah,
it wasn't their original bodies, was it?
I think they just kind of repaired their original bodies. Yeah.
Okay, because I mean, they have growing techniques because they grow their own babies. It's not like they've got a family sitting over there popping out the Wonder Twins.
They don't really. Do you think they grow?
I think they grow babies. No, I don't think they've got like a slave group that is like.
Well, no, but they could probably. I mean, they've got ports everywhere. They could probably extract reproductive cells from other people.
Well, yeah. Well, that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking.
Okay, so you think they artificially inseminate babies?
No, see, I don't even think they do that. I think they get the genetic material that they need, and then they are born in a vat. I think they're literal test tube babies.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Is they can extract the reproductive cells, so they can extract sperm, they can extract eggs from the people that they've already grown, and then they combine those in a lab and put that into it's in vitro fertilization.
No, they don't put it into another person.
No, they don't put it into another person. They grow it in a
bubble.
Yeah,
in a pod. Yeah. So
but
I think
they actually use reproductive cells from other humans.
It's not like they're cloning. No, I think. See, I couldn't decide if those were the original bodies and they went to fix them up.
Well, I think that they're the original bodies because they showed that one scene where the bug was going through Neo's eye sockets, rebuilding his eyes, and it didn't look very. I mean, it looked fucking painful.
So you think it took them, let's just say, 60 years to?
No, I don't think it took them 60 years to recreate the bodies.
So you think they've been around in the Matrix for how long?
I think they've been around in the Matrix for most of that 60 years. I think it probably took them, maybe a year to recreate their bodies and resurrect them, if not sooner or not less time.
Okay.
I mean, I would have to watch through the movie again and kind of focus on the timeline that they say if they even went that far into detail. But no, I think they've been in the Matrix for 60 years, and I think that through the process of them being rebuilt as well as being in goo baths, that kind of suppressed their aging.
Yeah, okay. You think so?
Yeah. And, all the humans outside age normally, but Neo and Trinity, and probably the other humans as well, probably just don't age as fast.
Okay. All right.
Because there were apparently several resets in the Matrix during that 60 years, too.
Was there several of them? I thought there was only a couple of them.
I mean, his cat's name was Deja Vu, so they reset a lot. They reset like 2 or 3 times in just the movie itself.
Oh, you think that those were actual resets?
Yeah, he
like when they had that whole when they went through that whole we need to make a new video game montage thing. Every time they showed saying the same thing over and over. You think those were resets?
Well, I mean, maybe those were resets. I wasn't particularly speaking about that, but I mean, every time Thomas Anderson would do something like jump off a building, they would reset.
Yeah. Which we know was at least once. Well, no, he didn't even jump off a building. Apparently, he jumped off and
flew.
Fall and didn't fall.
Yeah,
flew.
And so they reset. And apparently that had happened a few times because he had made reference to being or the therapist had made reference to him being there, several times and finding himself unaware of how he got there. So every time something like that happened, they would either rewind a little bit or totally reset.
Okay.
Because the person that walked off the building, under Bugs's reference, wasn't the same person that they showed Thomas Anderson being in this most recent iteration.
That's true. Yeah, he was some bald guy in the first one.
Right.
In that one. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, so I liked that. I like how can you not find Neo and Trinity, right? I like how they said, we just put them in an avatar.
Right.
I like that. I thought that was kind of a clever way of how is he hiding in plain sight? Here's a Thomas Anderson. Oh, that's not Neo. That doesn't look like him.
Yeah, but I mean, it's the Thomas Anderson that's a world-class game developer.
Right.
That created a game called The Matrix that is all about his life and trials during the first 3 fucking movies.
I think, but I think those that knew this, I think they were like, okay, they just reset them. Obviously they remade the Matrix. They're aware of this, right? They're aware that it's a new Matrix. And I don't think that they were aware that Neo was still alive and stuck literally in his own video game thing. You know, I don't think that they put 2 and 2 together and figured that's how they're hiding him.
You don't? Because, I mean, why was she looking into the modal anyway? I mean, if she,
well, see, I think okay, so I think, I don't know.
yeah.
Why was he creating a modal? So I think that they went into it because it looked exactly like how the events were supposed to play out. And then when they started not playing out that way, that's when, I don't know. I didn't get that. I mean, I understand what the modal was. I don't get why they were going into that to find Morpheus.
Were they looking for Morpheus, or did she just, I think she just stumbled across Morpheus.
Right.
That's the impression that I got through that first act, is that she just kind of stumbled, or she was looking into the modal. Yeah, for clues or looking for Neo, or she knew where Neo was and she was looking for, for some reason she was in the modal.
Yeah.
And she was watching the events play out, and during that particular simulation, the events weren't playing out as they did in real life. And then she got caught by the agents. One of the agents happened to be Morpheus because Thomas Anderson put him in there for whatever fucking reason. I wasn't exactly sure why he put Morpheus in there, but Morpheus is in there, and it's not Morpheus. It's what Neo remembered of Morpheus. Because Morpheus was actually a dude outside in the real world, and he lived a full fucking life and died in Zion or Io, or they were kind of vague or nebulous about that. But somehow the impression of Morpheus was a program inside this modal, and she recognized Morpheus for what he was and then pulled him out.
I guess. pulled him out through a video game, through a matrix, which I guess at that point is programs are programs, right? So you just copying the program out. Yeah.
And that's one of the criticisms that I have about this movie. The first act was really fun. I did like the first act a lot. I loved that it was poking fun at itself. It was poking fun of all the crazy fan theories that were out there. I mean, it basically like bumped up against the fourth wall quite a bit in just the first act alone.
Oh yeah.
And then in the second and third acts, it got serious and got down to the movie. And that's where the movie kind of started to break down. But the first act was really good. I thought it was clever how they kind of explained how Neo and Trinity were still alive, what had happened in it's 18 years for us. It was 60 years in the real world.
Right.
What happened between then and now.
So did those two have nuclear powers in the real world, it looks like?
We never saw Trinity in the real world.
Yeah, when they were doing the flashback of them being produced or fixed up, they showed one instance where Neo, apparently they were awake in the goo while they were getting worked on, and they went and touched each other, and everything blew up.
Oh yeah, you're right.
And that's when Doogie Howser realized that they had to be close, but not too
touching.
Close.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I guess they did.
So I don't know. I don't get that.
I guess since Trinity died and came back to life, then she got some sort of, I don't know, Neo powers.
I can kind of sort of understand Neo's being able to see the machines because he was somehow hooked into the Matrix, but not hooked into the Matrix, right? So, like, I could see him being able to sense the machine because he could travel their code, so to speak, which would be like their consciousness or whatever. I can understand.
Well, yeah, when he got his wireless networking abilities in the second movie, yeah,
I can understand that, but I don't understand the being able to cause a physical explosion from them.
Yeah, I don't either. That was that was weird.
I can see like a shockwave or something and shit shutting down.
Maybe she got wireless networking capabilities too, and when they touch, it caused like some sort of static feedback.
Wait. So you're saying he was like 2.4G and she was 5G, and they just can't mesh together? Right, yeah. And it causes chaos?
Right. Or she's like a microwave whenever you're trying to use 2.4G, and it interferes and the wavelengths kind of cross.
Gotcha. Yeah. Oh, well, okay. So that makes so much more sense. If she's a microwave, he probably had a little bit of metal in them, and microwaves and metal, they don't mix.
Yep, there it is.
Yeah.
We figured it out. Yep.
Yeah. Hey, what do you think those extra neck things were?
Yeah, I don't know. I think that was something that they added whenever they resurrected them, or I don't know.
Extra bandwidth?
Yeah, I guess so. I don't know. That was the deluxe premium edition.
Right. Yeah. That's how you get into the Founders Club of the Matrix game.
Exactly.
So my understanding is that this new Matrix is hinges on those two being apart or whatever, or like without them the Matrix isn't real enough and people start rejecting it.
I don't know. Somehow they're longing for each other but never able to have one another fuels the Matrix. I don't know. That was another part that I didn't quite understand. I was like, okay, so you have to have them close together but not together. Why? They didn't really explain that well in the movie. That was just one of those kind of hanging tidbits that they left dangling.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. It was weird. But whatever. There's never have we said that these movies made a lot of sense.
No, not since the first one. No,
not since the first. Well, even the first one didn't make a lot of sense there towards a certain part of it. Towards the end, it was starting to get a little head trippy, more so than what it was supposed to be, I think.
Well, but I mean,
the whole dying and coming back into life without,
that was at least somewhat plausible. I mean, it was, he was linked in the Matrix.
I love you.
That's not super unplausible. It's not probable. It's not likely to ever happen. But you got to suspend your disbelief a little bit, and it's okay. But some of the shenanigans they pulled in the third and fourth movies were way the fuck over the top. And in the Matrix, he had powers after his resurrection in the first movie, and that made perfect sense because he was actually able to see the code from the inside instead of the outside at that point. And so his mind accepted that the fact that the Matrix was a totally digital made-up realm and that he could manipulate it as he pleased. And so that gave him superpowers. And then they kind of pulled that back in the second movie because they needed a vulnerable Neo, but they didn't pull it back enough. And then they went way far. Now he's got wireless powers outside of the Matrix. He can affect the machines, through his mind in the real world. And yeah, that's where it started to go off the rails.
Yeah.
And I'm glad they didn't really do that in this movie, because he didn't really affect any of the machines or anything in the real world, except for that one part where he and Trinity touched and,
blew everything up.
They didn't really show that or do that in this movie, which I appreciated. He was, and in fact, because of his time being brainwashed or gaslighted in the Matrix at this point,
dude, he was gaslighted hard.
He didn't have the confidence or didn't really know how to use his abilities that he had before. And the Matrix was fundamentally changed. This is a new version of the Matrix under the control of what's his face, Doogie Howser. And so some of the rules have changed, and he wasn't aware of what the code or what the rules were in this new movie either. And so that kind of limited his power in the Matrix at this point. until the very end where they were once again the masters of the Matrix. And I hope this is the very last movie. I hope they don't try to extend this again because they would have to, they've written themselves into another corner. They would have to pull off some clownish shenanigans to extend this story any further.
Yeah, possibly. Yeah. So I liked what they did with the phones, and that they got rid of the phones.
Mm-hmm.
We're in the technology now where things are wireless. I liked the operator being seen but not being seen.
Yeah, that was kind of cool.
I thought that was a cool idea. I liked that they brought the mirrors into it, because they kind of had the mirrors. They had the mirrors at the beginning in the first one, right? So that he touched the mirror and it overtook him, and that's how he got out the first time. That's how they unplugged.
Yeah, that's how they said his carrier code pulled from the Matrix into the real world. Yeah,
right. So, but then they never use it again. Then it's we still got to use landlines and that kind of stuff to get in. I liked that they brought that mirror thing back. I thought that was kind of cool.
That's how they pull them out of the Matrix now.
That's how they get in and out of the Matrix.
Right.
Now, yeah. So that's kind of cool. I like the portal thing. I thought that was a sweet nod to the Keymaker.
Right.
That's where I kind of saw it. I was like, okay, because Jan was asking me, the wife was asking me, she goes, well, how come they can portal now? And I was like, well, I think the Keymaker gave them the code to be able to do it. She goes, oh yeah, that makes sense. So he's kind of, they got the code to be able to make those portals.
Yeah, that's good headcanon. I like that.
I kind of like that idea. And I liked it. And what really tied that in for me was when, at the beginning, when she went into that key shop, and you're like, okay. And then there's a backdoor portal, whatever, and like, key shop, key maker.
Yeah.
Now we're in that back room.
But it was Morpheus who opened that door.
Right. Well, yeah, we didn't know it was Morpheus. We thought it was one of the agents.
Right. It was not Morpheus. Yeah.
Yeah. So I really liked that. And then he explained it even further when he was like, I noticed nobody ever goes into this shop. So I went into the shop, and then he figured out, I guess then the key maker code got unlocked for him. Right. Or something. So I thought that was kind of cool. There was some cool nods, to the other movies. The obvious nod being the Frenchman was back.
Yes. And
the crazy Frenchman that did absolutely nothing.
Yeah. That was pointless. What the fuck was the whole point of that scene? Okay, so there are two really fucking things that really annoyed me about this movie. I would have loved the movie so much more if they hadn't brought back, number one, Agent Smith. Agent Smith had nothing to fucking do in this movie.
It would have been fine without him.
Yeah, the movie would have been the same, if not better, without him. Agent Smith didn't do a shit fucking thing, except for the fact that their company, if you'll notice, their company was named Deus Machina, which is a reference to Deus Ex Machina, which is a fucking story plot that something happens that is totally outside of the story to make the story work. And that's what they've done throughout the fucking Matrix series is a series of Deus Ex Machina after Deus Ex Machina. So that was a clever little self-deprecating nod to some of their story writing, except the only reason Agent Smith was in this fucking movie was to, at the very end fight against the therapist. He was to shoot at the dude. Yeah. That's it. And then we see nothing about Agent Smith ever again.
He walks out.
Yeah, he walks out and he's gone.
He's gone.
He was just there to fucking wail on Neo for a little bit and make you remember that Agent Smith was, a key, pivotal, stupid part of the first or the last two movies, number 2 and 3. And then he's done. He served no purpose. They could have written that better. And the second is the Merovingian. Why the fuck was the Merovingian still in there?
There was no need for him.
No, there was no need for that entire fucking scene because it was both the Merovingian and Agent Smith just wailing on fucking Neo They needed, I guess, another fight scene, but again, they could have written that better.
Yeah. I didn't like that one at all. I didn't think it was useful. I understand, they made reference to it, and I understand some of the old programs not wanting to be rewritten or whatever. They even bring that up in the first sets of movies. The old programs don't want to be sent back to the source to be repurposed.
Right.
But in this particular case, it felt a little off. And it really, and even the Merovingian had nothing to do in this movie. I mean, he just spewed French insults at him and then ran away like a idiot.
Yeah. Once his goons that came back from the dead somehow, once his goons fucking got their asses handed to him, he just runs away. And you never see him again. It's not like he served any fucking purpose to the plot. I don't mind if they had brought the Merovingian back and maybe he is down on his luck, but he's still an information broker of some sort and they kind of needed his information.
Right.
Make him integral into the fucking plot. Make him have a purpose. At this point, he didn't have a purpose. The whole purpose of him was there to remind you that, hey, the Merovingian was in the second and third movies and he had goons and now we got to fight the goons.
Yeah. It didn't make sense at all.
Yeah. And it's the same with Agent Smith. And supposedly, so number one, I want to know how Agent Smith still exists. He's been obliterated twice now by Neo. But now he's back.
And supposedly purged by the machines.
Right.
When that happened.
Right.
I mean, they purged the Matrix, right? They redid the Matrix in its entirety. I would think that everything would be gone.
So how is he back?
Reasons.
Yeah. Because reasons. Yeah.
You just don't know them. You don't know those reasons. The whole Morpheus thing, I wasn't real keen on. Why did you bring Morpheus back if all you're going to do is make him a computer simulation? So that could have been. That didn't have to be Morpheus. That could have been anybody.
Right.
That still would have been cool. I liked the concept of the tech. I liked the tech. The tech was cool. Where you have programs that are able to interact in the real world through these, I guess, magnetic nano something or others. Right. Yeah, but I mean, it could have been anybody. It could have been. It could have been a different program that wanted to defect, right? It could have been that. They didn't have to say, because in this particular case, it was a program that Neo created based off of stuff that he had figured out. So it wasn't even, in my headcanon, that program wasn't even what they call sentience, right? It wasn't even a program that the machines had created. It was a Neo program. Yeah, that was something Neo created. Right. So in this particular case, it's not even a machine siding with the humans like you see in elsewhere. It's just a program. Yeah. And I wasn't quite sure what the whole point of the modal was. I mean, I wasn't really sure either what the modal was until later on. The only thing I can think of in the concept of, in the context of the movie, is Anderson was trying to recreate some AI or something like that for the new game that they were supposed to do, using part of the source code or part of the code from the Matrix game. Right. So he was trying to recreate something because obviously something wasn't working on the, whatever that game was, Bioshock. Binary. Yeah. Supposedly they were having a hiccup of some sort in that one, right? They were trying to capture lightning in a bottle twice or four times, I guess. Hey, just like the movies. So That's the only thing I could think of that he was doing is he was trying to run some sort of AI test, and he knew what was supposed to be happening, and it didn't go the way he was expecting, and that's how he caught bugs. But I don't know. It just didn't. I think the Morpheus character would have been better being an actual program in the current Matrix, wanting to side, kind of like SETI was.
Again, I'm not sure what the whole point of the modal was. I want to say they tried to explain it like Neo or Thomas Anderson, because he created the Matrix game based off of it almost seemed like he was Neo, but he wasn't Neo.
I don't think he actually created a Matrix game. I think what we know as the Matrix, the trilogy. I think the dude died. They recreated the world. The machines recreated the world. The architect or analyst made the new iteration of the Matrix. Right. He knew he needed to keep Neo and Trinity in there. He knew he found, and I'm in my head canon. He tried to shove them in there, or brainwash them, or brain wipe them, and Neo kept remembering, and he kept having these things, and so they've had to reset that Matrix before, and that's when the analyst had the idea of, okay, let's take his experience, what he thinks is true, because he kept jumping off the bridge, right? Mm-hmm. Or let's take that and twist that around, and so that he doesn't know what was real and what was in his head anymore, and that kind of keeps him on a leash, right? So let's take his experience. We know what happened because it happened inside our computer system. Let's take that and let's say it is a game, and I'm using air quotes here. Let's say it's a game, and reset everyone inside the Matrix to all say it's a game.
Okay, I can see that,
right?
And maybe that's it, because he seems to still want to believe that he isn't just Tom Anderson. He still wants to believe that he's Neo, but right. I guess the drugs that they're giving him and the therapy sessions that he's having with the analyst is kind of keeping all this in check. He thinks he's got kind of a psychosis going on, and yeah. And so I can see that. And then the modal is kind of his way of trying to recreate that first scene in the Matrix to see how many of the actual simulations come out the way he remembers it. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, or something. Yeah.
Again, they didn't do a lot of explanation on what that whole thing was.
No,
it was a plot device, and they didn't integrate it very well.
So I thought it was cool. I thought it was cool at first when I was watching it. Right, I was like, oh, holy shit! Wait, oh my god, they're recreating the first scene. Jen even looked at me and goes, we've seen this before. I'm like, yeah, we have.
Not exactly, but yeah.
Right, yeah. And then they get to the thing. I'm like, and the first thing I notice is, okay, Trinity's wearing, because they hadn't shown Trinity yet, they just saw the back of her. I'm like, oh, okay, she's wearing a different outfit.
Yep.
All right, she's older. I understand she won't be able to get into the pleather as easily. Styles have changed. Okay, great. And then they flip over, and it's kind of like, is that her? Did they CGI her face a little bit to make her look younger?
Nope, totally different.
Yeah, and then you see, and then they turn back to her again. I'm like, oh, nope, different actress. Okay, what's going on? And then you see bugs, and then it's like, I'm like, oh, okay, this is like some sort of simulation. Okay, why is this a simulation? And then they never really answer that. They kind of like magic hand wave over it, right? But
right.
I was like, I thought that was kind of cool that they did a scene for scene recreation. Did she do the flying crane kick? I don't remember her.
Yeah, she did.
Did she?
Yeah.
How many times did you watch this?
Just once.
I don't.
It was there because whenever she did it, I was like, oh, there's Rob's flying crane kick.
Oh, okay. Cause see, in my head, I'm thinking that was the one thing that was slightly different.
No, she did it.
She did it. Oh, that's right. She did it, but it wasn't bullet timed.
No.
That's what was different.
Well, it kind of was, but they didn't do the 360 view of it. It was
right,
just
and that's kind of what I was.
She jumped up, and then they did a jump cut and her kicking the dude.
Right, and that's what I was expecting that when I was watching. I was like, oh, they're recreating this, and then she goes up, and then it doesn't happen. I'm like, oh man, that would have been. I would have been okay with that, with how they were doing things in retrospect, but. I don't know.
And I kind of appreciate that they didn't do a ton of bullet time or slow-mo.
Oh, I am so glad that they didn't. They still brought some of that back during that portion. They still showed the agents phase dodging or whatever.
Yeah, but it wasn't super slow or anything. I mean, they just did it while they were shooting.
Right.
And they didn't do a ton of slow-mo. And then about the only time they did slow-mo was whenever they did their Wonder Twin powers activate. They kind of slow-mode that.
Yeah, and then they, of course, they do the slow-mo with the analyst slowing everything down.
Yes. But that was integral to the plot. And
right, that made sense.
I wish they had used that a little bit more instead of, okay, the analyst has this power, and he's going to fuck with Neo with this power, and then the next time he tries to use this power... Oh yeah, Agent Smith's just going to fuck it up and then walk away.
Yeah, see,
I was such a letdown.
Yeah, I was hoping that he went to use that power again. The analyst uses the power, and I was hoping that because her life was going to be on the line, all of a sudden he busted through.
Yeah, or
I was hoping he
either
would break it.
Neo or even Trinity somehow countered that power.
You know what? That would have been even cooler if Trinity just turned and looked at him and then did it, kicked him in the face, kicked his jaw off, right?
Yeah. That would have been a much fucking better outcome for that.
That would have been cool.
And you don't need fucking Agent Smith.
Then you have that same sort of reveal that we had in the first Matrix with the whole Neo stopping all the bullets, right?
Right.
I mean, he gets up and he's like, "No," and then they all fall down. That was cool. Yeah. Do that same sort of thing here, but throw it on her, right? So she turns and she says no, and Roundhouse kicks his jaw off, right?
Right.
And then he's like, "Oh, I hate you," blah, 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 scourge mode or whatever it is, swarm mode, right? Then go from there. That would have been
cool. Much more satisfying. Yes.
That would have been cool. Yeah, but no. Look,
they didn't ask us, so.
We should have written part of this movie.
We should have.
You know what? If you're going to do a second one, guys write it.
No, don't.
No, do it. That's fine. Do it. Write it, whatever. Let us look at it and we'll tell you what to fix.
Which is, don't do it. Don't fucking do it.
Well, they're going to do it whether we help them or not. But at least we can try to make it a little bit better.
Ugh.
I mean, we just made the movie better just by workshopping here in the last, 10, 15 minutes. We made their ending 10 times better.
True.
Yeah. But no, they didn't ask.
They didn't ask. All right.
They didn't ask.
You got a haiku for us this week?
Yes, I do. This one is titled "The End?" ? Doogie the Head Shrink. The Matrix was just a game. Please let this be it.
Nice.
Thank you.
All right, let's do some awards. Who you got for your Black Lung?
All right, so I am going to, just because I need to, I'm going to give it to Neo.
Okay.
I don't know why, but I'm going to give it to Neo.
Why? I mean, I don't
know. I'm just, at some point in time, I'd like to think that he was chain smoking his way through his psychotic breaks or something.
Okay.
But I mean, if I really must give it to somebody for real, and this totally fucks up what I'm doing, I'd give it to Agent Smith.
Agent Smith.
Yeah,
that's right. He did smoke. Yeah.
Yeah, they pulled Neo pulled him in, or Neo got pulled into his office, and
that's
they
right.
smoked. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Hipster Agent Smith. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
All right. So mine is going to go to Hipster Agent Smith for smoking, lighting up in his office, which is something you can't do now. I don't know. Yeah. So, Head Lush, who's got yours?
Oh, I'm giving it to Neo on the roof.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. That's who's getting mine too. So Neo on the roof is getting mine. Player.
Neo is going to get it for getting Tiffany.
Okay. I don't know who's going to get my player. I mean, Neo and Trinity, I mean, they were already a thing, so that's not really a kind of player type thing. I don't know. I mean, let's see. So there was that one crew member on the new ship. I can't remember the mnemonic or whatever the fuck his ship's name was.
Nuba Cruiser.
Nuba Cruiser, yeah. The Nuba Cruiser. There was that one crew member that told Neo that the whole reason she was around was because of Bugs. Because the Bugs was about to go into the robot world to act as a proxy for Trinity's connection into the Matrix while they tried to get her out. And it was pretty dangerous. And I think they were actually a couple. They showed them as like a couple at the end, towards the end of the movie. So I'm going to give it to her because, you know, Bugs pulled her out of the Matrix, and then I guess she put the moves on Bugs and they became a thing. So I'm going to give it to her.
Great.
All right. Purple Hippo, who's getting that?
So I'm giving it to Neo. And his
so you just wanted to give it to Neo throughout.
Look, so I was gonna hear me out, all right? So I was wanting to somehow make it to where Neo got all of them. It'd be a clean sweep all the way across. I wanted to give the Purple Hippo to Neo for his game / not game, real life, blue pill, what have you. But you know what? I'm glad you forced me to change my black lung to Agent Smith because now I'm going to give my Purple Hippo to Neo, which meant I gave it to Neo 3 times. So it's a menage a trois.
Oh, God damn it.
Or sometimes
it's not.
the French
That's
call
not how this
threesome.
works. No,
it does. It does. Thank you, Jason, for setting up the menage a trois.
I fucking hate you. Why do you do this shit? What did I ever do to you?
We don't have the time. We're almost out of it for this episode.
So mine's going to go to Neo because, I mean, that dude has been
so
through
you
the
did a
fucking
threesome too?
No, I didn't.
Oh, no, that's right. You gave it to Bugs. No.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Yeah, so mine's going to go to Neo because, yeah, that dude's been through the ringer. He's been gaslighted. You know, he's been in multiple versions of the Matrix as multiple different kind of avatars or iterations of himself. Yeah, so Neo's going to get mine. He thinks he's going nuts, and maybe he is. Maybe the entire movie was just all in his head to begin with. Who knows?
Maybe. So what are we doing next time?
I don't know. We're about to find out.
Are we going to actually, randomize this shit?
Yeah, we're going to pick.
Oh, my goodness.
All right, so you will need to pick a number between 1 and 155.
Ooh, so many to choose from. You know what? Let's go with, to celebrate the anniversary of the war being over, let's go with 60.
60, all right. Oh, God.
Well, oh, wait, you didn't want me to rant? You didn't want me to tell you to stop?
I stopped whenever you told me the number.
Oh, I like it. You're throwing in a little curveball here. Did it work in our favor?
Well, maybe.
We'll see. Oh, wait. I actually don't know what this is going to be. I get to play Guess the Name of the Movie again.
It's true.
I like this game. This game's always fun.
All right, so next week, or not next week, but next episode, we will be discussing the movie where a Chicago librarian has a gene that causes him to involuntarily time travel, creating complications in his marriage.
Shit.
This stars Eric Bana, Rachel McAdams, Ron
Time
Livingston.
Traveler's wife.
Time Traveler's Wolf? What's a wolf?
Because you said you started Ron Livingston, so it's like I grabbed what you said. The Time Traveler's Wife?
Yeah, this is 2009's The Time Traveler's Wolf.
Well, all right, perfect. I've never seen this. Time Traveler's Wife.
I've never seen it either.
How did this get on here?
This would be both you and SP, so we're going to have to get SP on here for this one.
He put it on here because he thought I would like it because it had Time Traveler in the name. I remember this. This was a Discord submission.
Yeah, this was a Discord submission.
This isn't near as bad.
This was I think SP suggested it, and you were like, yes. And so
because it said Time Traveler.
You're both credited for contributing. Well,
I think it's only fair that if SP causes it to be put on the list, he should. I don't want to say suffer, but suffer in what could potentially be our misery.
Yeah, so we're gonna have to see if SP is available to record this with us.
So this is happening next year, huh?
This is happening next year. We're going to be taking a few weeks off to recover after this long bout of Matrix films.
So basically, what you're saying is because you decided to do it every week, we're now going to go on vacation.
Yeah, we're going to go on vacation for a few weeks.
All right.
And let me see.
Sadek is still around, guys. Well, you can look forward to Spider-Man No Way Home next week. We're going to actually be reviewing that. We actually haven't reviewed it yet. We're going to be recording that later on this week. I'm interested to see what Jason has to say. I know I have some things to say.
So the next episode is going to be released on January the 28th, and that will be The Time Traveler's Wife.
January the 28th. Wow. It's way down there.
It's just
perfect.
One skipped episode because we're going to go back to bi-weekly.
Okay. All right. Our intro and outro music is...
Shut up. All right, that's all we've got for this week. Our intro and outro music is Welcome Home by Cambo. Podcrawl music is Snacks Mix by Machette.
Amen.
If you'd like the show, please rate and review us on iTunes. You can leave us feedback on our Discord channel at smokinganddrinkinginspace.com/Discord, on Twitter at status_podcast, or you can email us at smokinganddrinkinginspace@outlook.com. If you'd like to throw a few nickels our way, you can become a Patreon supporter by going to smokinganddrinkinginspace.com/Patreon. And make sure to visit Creative Brain Candy for more great shows and other creative works at creativebraincandy.com. For this week, I'm Jason.
The Catrix has been confirmed.
Oh my God. All right. Have a great end of your year, and we'll see you in 2022.
Okay. Bye, everybody.